Dr. Akiva Gamliel, Belk, Dean of Jewish Studies at the Noach Torah Institute, LLC. Welcome to Bereisheit, Limood 14. We're studying, God willing, Genesis chapter 14, verse 1 through 24. Now, dear ones, our book is Gematria and Mysticism in Genesis. It covers a lot of material. So we encourage you to pick a copy up because we'll not be able to cover it all in this video. Dear ones, we're just going to center in on just a small piece of our discussion. There's so much that can be discussed in Genesis 14, and one of the subjects would, for example, be Eliezer. The Gematria of Eliezer is the same as the 318 men that Abraham armed and that were born in Abraham's house, and that he armed and trained, and they went to war. And some say that there were 318 men, and one say Eliezer was like 318 men. Interesting gematria. There's also the discussion of Melchizedek, the high priest, the priest of the Aris, the earth. That was Shem, the son of Noah. And so there's tremendous discussions that are wrapped up in Genesis 14, and I'd like to go into some of those. But the one that we're going to look at is struggle with our individual nature. The situation is that each of us are created with a Yetzer Tov, a good inclination. You see the little pictures of the angels, good angel, okay? And then a Yetzer Ra. And you see the little picture of the devil with the fork and horns. Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Ra, they're both inclinations. They both have, so to speak, a 50-50 pull. But in our world, with all the things that are going on, I think some of us would feel like we're tempted to do evil more than we are good. And we feel like perhaps the struggle, the pull towards doing what is not right is often greater than the struggle to do what's good. And so we have this individual struggle. Each of us have a struggle. Unless we're a tzaddik, a person who's absolutely 100% righteous, who knows perfectly. And there's only 36 of these in each generation. And so there's billions of people in the world. That means most of us are going to sin, most of us are going to do wrong, and most of us are going to have a struggle with the evil inclination. Now, dear ones, we kind of come to this story, to this situation, through the name Nimrod. And in the book we discuss Amar Raphael, the king that Abraham went to war against. And we show references that prove this was Nimrod. Now, the first Namar, the first three letters of Nimrod means tigerish, tiger-like. And when we put in the Vav in the Dalet for Nimrod, we get hunter, one who hunts like a tiger. Okay, and then we see the gematria. This is the gematria 300. Then we see the gematria of Yetzer. Yetzer is our inclination, and the gematria is 300. We've already indicated we have a Tov, a good inclination, and Ra, an evil inclination. However, this brings us to where we actually want to discuss, and that is our nature. We have two very powerful forces. Both are tiger-like. Both are hunters, so to speak. And they're right here. They're right here within us. They're part of us. And they're pulling us, and they're hunting us, and they're challenging us. And so we recognize that sometimes we just go out and do good so ferociously like, so tigerish like, and yes, that's the Yetzer Ra. And then sometimes we just surprise ourselves. We just jump to such incredible heights of doing good. It's just amazing at the speed and at the quickness that we hurry to do this good. So we have these two natures. Now, dear ones, I used to be a United States Forest Service employee. Most of you would say a a U.S. Forest Ranger, but I was a U.S. Service Force employee. And while working in the forests of America, we would have encounters with a variety of animals. And I was also an individual who loved wildlife photography. And at one time, I used to be a Nimrod, a hunter. And my father, may he rest in peace, he formed this group called the Nimrod Hunting Club. And my younger brother, to this day, still maintains this group. And my sons and his sons and our children have become a part, and a few friends, part of this group, this Nimrod Hunting Club. Okay, hunters. Okay, the point is they had the opportunity to study a tiger, a mountain lion, a cougar, a leopard. You can see they're very fast-footed. They're very quick. And I was amazed. Cats, they're a small pet that is along the line of this tiger, this leopard. We used to have this cat. I watched him. He would jump clear up above 6 feet in the air to the top of this box, and it was a good 6 feet, maybe more. And I thought, man, that's amazing. But I'm told, and I have no proof, but I'm told that a mountain lion has the ability to jump in excess of 50 feet straight up. That's an awful lot of feet. That's amazing. It's incredible. Even if it were 20 feet or 30 feet, it's still awesome. And so they're ferocious animals. They have this tremendous power to seize their victims. And I'm told that in America, that 1 out of 3 million people will see a mountain lion. And I've had the unique privilege of seeing more than one in my lifetime. I've seen about 5. So it's really quite amazing. Now, dear ones, I'm trying to give us an understanding of the meaning of the word of Nimrod, the meaning of the word, because it's mystically it mystically helps explain our yetzer, our good inclination, our evil inclination. And from this, we recognize how we can rush to do good and rush to do evil, and how important it is for us to just be stable and have control over our senses. But at least now we can recognize mystically why sometimes we just are so quick to do something. Sometimes without thought, and sometimes with very deliberate, very perceived, very stalking, very cunning intent. So we recognize these forces within us, and we recognize now that's part of our nature. And so when we recognize that these are our actions, that this is part of our nature, then God willing we'll have a little more ability to know how to deal with them, to know how to control them. Now, we know that when we are created equal with the yetzer tov, good inclination, and a yetzer rod, evil inclination. Neither one has more power than the other. The whole impact is which one do we pay attention to? Which one do we focus on? If we start focusing on doing evil, if we start focusing on doing raw, the chances of us doing raw are greater. However, if we're tempted to do wrong, if we're tempted to do evil, if we start focusing on the yetzer tov and what is good, our chances of doing good are much greater. So we have to be very conscious of our focus and what we're thinking about, and we have to be conscious of where we allow ourselves to go, what we allow ourselves to see, what we allow ourselves to read, what situations we place ourselves in, so that we can, God willing, set ourselves up to have more success with the yetzer tov, the good inclination, than the yetzer ra. So I pray that each of us will have great success in helping to manage and control, to understand our nature.